everyone, and welcome back to Alma Live. I'm Adriana Monique Alvarez, and we are continuing our conversations on emotional resilience, and I am so excited to have today's guest. Fon Churat, you are joining us from San Francisco. Thank you for being here.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here.
Now, I know that one of your official titles is transformational healer, and just in the reading and sort of research I've done on you and learning about you through Phoenix, I would love if you'd share in your own words the work that you do and what your life's purpose is all about.
It took me a while to actually get to this point. So I started my private practice called Fond Essence, F-O-N-D, and the word essence, kind of try to have it somewhat linked to my name. And I started out with one-on-one in-person session, but last year I transitioned into the virtual session, which has come so perfect in this pandemic time that we are in right now. And my guide had told me for the longest time, go virtual. And I was like, how am I going to do that? Like, I don't know how I'm supposed to do this, energy work session and serving my clients online until the situation finally took me there to make this happen, because I couldn't make it happen on my own. And my guide just, okay, let me take your hand and we're going to walk together. And that's just how situations happen in our lives, right? And sometimes we can't see it because it's so in front of us. I'm currently working one-on-one, and I do some corporation clinic work as well with teenagers. And my main focus and my specialty is working with women on a mission who are struggling with emotional and mental challenges. And I help them clear energetic blocks so they can move on and achieve their mission, accomplish their mission. And I have an example of a client that I'm so excited to talk about, because this is like one of the highlights. A client came to me and she was struggling with infertility and some related anxiety, and we worked together. She ended up getting pregnant with not just one baby. Can you believe it, Adriana? She got a bonus. She got a twins.
Oh,
right? And we didn't just stop there. We kept going throughout her entire journey of pregnancy to tackle some of her stress and the discomfort in the pregnancy, her doubts, her fears along the way, and all her worries of how this is going to go now that, now that we have a bonus in our life. And we continue until the labor time, and she got 2 healthy babies. And we're just more than thrilled. I could not even come up with words to describe that for both of us. It was such an amazing journey for us. And I have never done that with anyone else before. She was the first one. And then after, Divide just keeps sending me situation like that. And another one that I was kind of also excited about, well, both of us, my client and I, were starting out on this journey that she just diagnosed with cancer. And she had begun just one treatment. And then she came to see me, and we started working together. And she shared with me that she was feeling really uncomfortable in her body, and she was really stressed, really tired all the time. And you probably heard this from, someone that have been experiencing with cancer, because it seems like everybody knows someone who has cancer nowadays. It's just like, it becomes so common, right? And this client was really emotional as well. And we worked together to comfort her. And she reported back that she felt more energized and more relaxed, more peaceful, and more hopeful on her healing journey. And I was in tears. I got so personal. It's like I was going through that myself, because I could not imagine, going through this transformation of healing and having to go through the emotional and mental stuff that come up, that probably not just affecting her personal life, it's probably affect her her work and other things. And she did mention that she had to take time off of work, and she just can't wait to get back and be normal. And that was giving her a lot of hope to get back there.
That's amazing. Yeah, because as you said, you need so much support when you're going through that.
Totally. Yeah. And I'm just, and I'm just so thrilled that my client just, trust me and decided to pick me. It could have been any other healer out there, but we have a soul contract, I guess. She got to come to me and see me and allow me to be a part of her journey, which is really special to me.
Absolutely. Now, I love this, because you probably come into contact with this all the time as you're working with clients, is seeing what it takes to be in a low spot, be experiencing challenges, and helping them work through that. And so when you think about the term emotional resilience, what does it mean to you? How do you define it?
Honestly, this is, I never heard of this word before until I knew I was going to come on and talk to you about this.
I love it.
I had to look it up, what the word means, because I never have to use it. I never think about it before. And it obviously not in my language. Like, in my own language, we don't go around and talk about emotional resilience on a daily basis with our family members, right? I mean, here too, in this American culture, or I guess most of the culture, nobody sit around and talk to their family member about emotional resilience. So therefore, I never even thought about what is this word. So after looking it up, and I had to sit down and close my eyes and think about what is it that in my life that is emotional resilience. And it seems like it's a learning process that we got to keep learning the lessons that we haven't really learned before. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, absolutely. It's true. And there was a guest pretty early on in this series, and she was talking about how, just like what you said, most of us were not raised in families where there was any discussion around emotions, period, right? Much less like, what does emotional resilience look like? What does it take to get through difficult times? And so it's oftentimes it's there, whether or not it's acknowledged. But yeah, absolutely, it's this learning process. It's figuring out, how do I navigate various emotions or various seasons of life, and not the easy ones, right? Not the like, oh, life is good, I'm celebrating right now. It's the, oh my God, what the heck just happened, right?
Totally. I have a lot of people comes to me and share with me that on personal level, that something happened, and then maybe with their spouses or their significant others or family member, and when something happened on personal level, and then it's starting to have a side effect to your work, right? And of course, there are people who comes to me at a higher position at their job, and then they have problem going on, like ongoing problem at work. And guess what? It affects their sleep, it affects their personal life. And then they ended up, it's, what do you call that? Vice versa, right? When you have personal problem, it rolls into your work. You can't perform well. And if you have problem at work, it rolls into your personal life. It takes you away from your family. You become unpresent with your family member. And then you constantly focusing about is, how am I going to get over this? Or you ended up complaining about your work and you get really unhappy with, and nobody wants to hear the complaint, right? It's day in and day out of the complaining. And that's where I come in and I work with them to help them gain the ability to acknowledge their own feelings and gain the strength to cope with the emotional or mental roller coasters so they can live a more balanced personal and professional life and keep moving forward to accomplish their missions. And I like to say mission because we are always on a mission of something. Like with this book, I'm on a mission of helping as many women as possible.
Yes.
And I'm sure you have your mission of supporting this book in your own way, right?
Exactly. It's so true. We're always on a mission, right? Even I see this with my kids. They might have a different mission, 4 times in the day, but it's where that focus is, First, our mission is to get all the Hot Wheels out of the bottom of the pool, and then our mission is to whatever, But it's so true, and I love that word as well. Now, before we went live, we were talking about the various stories you could tell of when you had to do this for yourself, figure out a way to keep moving forward, figure out how to acknowledge and deal with your own emotions. And you had mentioned this transition of going from having a job to owning a business, which I think for most people is a huge transition, a huge decision, and is typically pretty rocky. Do you want to share a little bit about what led, like when did you know it was time to quit your job and do something different?
Oh my gosh. Again, I got my inside guys that kept telling me it's time to move forward. After being in a job for approximately over 7 years, that's when I decided to, and I also talk about this in the book as well, if I may give a little bit of preview, a little tease there. I got the guidance to just move forward because I didn't feel that I was valued at where I was in my life at the time. And then after starting my private practice, I was still depressed. I was having some anxiety, trying to find help and get my business up and off the ground. It's a one-woman show. So how do I make this work for myself? And along the way, all this emotion happen, depression, anxiety, fears, worries, and doubt just keep attacking me like one after the other. And now that I'm sitting here talking to you, looking back during those time of being at that same job for over 10 years before I even started my own practice, I saw it as a detour. I was detouring in order to meet my clients who kept telling me, you are a gifted healer. Do something about it. And I was like, what do you mean? I didn't know what to do with that information. And to meet my friend who gifted me my very first energy work session, which I would never even seek out for myself. And at the time when I was so depressed, my friend gave me the session to go try, and that's a life-changing experience. And I also talk a little bit about that in my book as well. And from that, led me to another path that my guides also told me, go to India. And I took off to India and did a yoga teacher training, which I never once in a million year would ever thought I would be doing a yoga teacher training course, which I think it's mainly because my guide want me to be on this healing path of what I'm doing nowadays. And I ended up learning Reiki, my very first Reiki in India during my yoga teacher training. So I fit everything in. Can you imagine?
All at once.
Yeah, it was the unexpected. And that's what happened when you're starting to open up to the flow, and you're starting to listen to your divine guidance, and things just starting to unfold for you. At that point in my life, I was just allowing myself to be in the flow and not resist it so much. Believe me, I had a lot of resistance. I was questioning, why now? Why go to India? Why yoga teacher training? I was asking myself questions, and what I ended up with was that I went back to India on a separate trip to learn more healing modalities as well, like meditation teacher training and Tibetan bowl sound healing. And this is all because I wanted something that I could use to heal myself. And I did accomplish that. I use all of this stuff, the knowledge that I learned, to heal myself. And I still continue the training. And for some reason, I kept getting more of, go learn this. This will be good for you. And I ended up learning theta healing. I ended up learning yoga for trauma, or more healing modality in the different ways. Learn about ascended masters, and which I didn't know anything about, or never even thought about it. Again, this thing just unfolding for me, and it just keep happening on its own. And excuse me. And when you stay in the flow, it just happened. And I didn't understand, and I did try to understand, but that was useless. And now I learned. Yeah. And now I learned that you don't have to know everything. You don't have to understand. You don't have to make sense of your current situation at all. Just allow, just surrender and be in the flow, and let it happen, and maybe say, well, thank you for bringing this to me. What would you like me to know?
Yes, that's beautiful. It's true, because I think we so want to be in our head, and I want to be intellectually understand all of this, and why and how does it fit in? But it's not really how it works, is it? It's the whole process is really to get us out of that and to drop down and go, well, what are you willing to be open to?
Exactly. Yeah. So true. And I'm sure you probably have a lot of experience about that too, like your very own experience of pregnancy.
Yes, exactly. It's like, I think it's a tendency for most of us, I know for me, to want to control, to know so I can control, right? And it's really not the real flow of nature and life. It's unnatural to that. Yeah.
No, we get into our heads so much. We want to. I learned this from I don't know if you heard of this woman who teach handwriting. She had said in her book that you don't want to be in control, but you can be in charge of your own life.
Mm.
And that's where I kept reminding myself, let go of the need to control. And I also teach that in my yoga class on a daily basis and my meditation class. And then it's a reminder for myself as well. When I started to get into that need to control the situation, to control anything in my life, and I got to step one step back and go, there you are again. You're trying to control the situation. So now you can be in charge, you can watch, you can be the witness, and you can contribute where you can contribute, right? And see where this is going to take you.
Yeah, it's so true. I love that. And I love another guest said it like this: I learned to give up the control I never actually had, because it's so interesting how we think we actually can control so many things and others, and it actually was never there. But I love how you say that. Just notice what you are in charge of, what you can participate, what you can contribute, and then I often do this when I hit control mode. I just literally say, you need to chill out, right? Like, chill out.
Yeah, especially with your children.
Oh yeah, I mean, if kids aren't a lesson in control, I don't know what is. It's so interesting. It's like, oh my gosh, if you ever thought that you could control another human being, like a child is just there to remind you, I don't think so, right? Like from the earliest moments, it's like, no, that's not what this is really about. This is actually about the opposite, right? Allowing others to be, allowing them to have their own choices, allowing them to have their own preferences, all of that.
Totally. And that's the mindset I had to lay it out for myself in order to have the practice I have today. It's not an overnight learning, of course, and in order to have regular clients that I have today, I'm not struggling trying to get clients like I used to when in my days of getting my business up and running, and where do I go after that? Trying to maintain that business and trying to grow it into a successful business. And if I didn't have that mentality, I would have been like, I gotta do more marketing. I gotta run more, ads, or I gotta get people on my team to help me to get to this, to where I want to be that person, your go-to healer, and which is not the way it works in this flow, right? I mean, I'm at where I am today, and I'm happy that and so grateful that I have regular clients that I see on a regular basis. And when I was working for someone else, I didn't get to choose who I can serve, right? But now that I have my own practice, whoa, what a luxury. I can pick who I get to work with and who do I want to keep working with, because I have the choice now. And I want to share this with your audience as well, that we always have a choice. And sometimes we overlook those choices unconsciously, or I'm not sure how you resonate with the word, conscious and unconscious. But when you are so stuck in the moment, you don't seem to see the choice, or you have to step back and kind of take a look at the bigger picture and see where this is going. Wait, can I make a left? Can I make a right? Right?
Exactly. Get a little perspective. And sometimes I find just to give it a rest, honestly, right?
Oh,
let me come back to this after I've eaten, after I've taken a nap, after I went and had some fun, after I went and whatever, go for a walk. I don't have to the more I feel like I have to figure it out in this like very moment, the more I know I need to just walk away for a bit. And
Totally.
I love that you provide this for your clients. I want to pop up your website so that people can go check out what you do. And also I'll put the link to Phoenix in the description. I appreciate the work that you do. And I'm so glad that you told your story and you were willing to share it with the world. Thank you so much, Fon.
Thank you, Adriana. And if it's okay, I'd like to offer your audience a gift.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's my gift to your audience who listen to your show and been following your show. Come join me in my Step Into Your True Power session, which is only take 15 to 20 minutes, where we can find out what's holding you back and what's blocking you from achieving your mission. And we can perhaps break through that together, and we can step into our own power and rise.
I love it. Absolutely beautiful. Be sure to check out her website. Take her up on that. Take her up on that offer. I want to remind everyone that you can pick up your free pass to Networking Influencers, my weekly networking group, as well as my guide, Jumpstart Your Book. Those links are in the description. Thank you for being here, Fon. Until next time, big hugs from Mexico. I'll talk to you soon.
Thank you.